Michael, if you'd like to take us into our next section and kind of explain our first week of going over some different formation types.
Yeah. So this is something I've been excited to start. We get to teach each other. I have chosen one offensive and one defensive scheme. Ben, you've done the same.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's just basically explaining it to each other. We're scheming, you know. Uh, so I'll go ahead. I'll start with defense, and then I'll let you explain your defense, and then we'll
Mm-hmm.
go. Then I'll you can go straight into your offense, and then I'll finish with mine. My defense, it's the defensive formation, I think, is the 4-3 defense. This is from what I've learned, this is a base defense. A lot of things are based off of 4-3. It's always kind of either 4-3 or 3-4. You have four defensive linemen. Usually you'll have a nose tackle, a defensive tackle, and then you have edge rushers on either side. Those make up your four, and then you have linebackers. You have a Sam linebacker. You have a Mike linebacker. He's the one that talks to the coach. And then you have a Will linebacker. And all those different positions have different things that they need to know. This specific defense is better than 3-4 at run stopping. It's not as good as pass protection, since you always know where those linemen or those rushers are lining up. It's going to always be the same. So it's pretty balanced. When you're running
Mm-hmm.
4-3, you're trying to get that quarterback. You're not necessarily trying to protect the field from throws or anything like that. So yeah, you always have an ulterior motive there.
Mm-hmm.
Certain things are specific. There are different types of fronts, which would be moving around the four up front by the line, and then you'll have corresponding moves with the linebackers based on the gaps that they're looking in. Some of I guess the two real popular ones, the over front, you'll hear a lot. It's when the defensive tackle is moved over to the tight ends and the strong side, which is where the rush is expected to go. So that's where they're going to be really trying to push in their way. Um, they that's the over front. Apparently, if your DT is moved over there, the Mikes and the linebackers have to play wide, which kind of leaves them a bit stressed out. But I think it's pretty popular. I think they run that more often, and they also have different a variation of that called the G front, which is just when the nose tackle is moved over from or over the guard instead of being over the center. So you have that middle chunk in front of the center that's just wide open,
Mm-hmm.
but you're really trying to contain and attack them from the guards. The other popular one is the under front. That's when the defensive tackle is moved under to the opposing tight end, and the formation's weak side, which is where they're running away from. So there's a chance maybe you might not be able to beat the line quicker, but also at the same time you might just get straight up outran. So it's good for trying to get after the quarterback, bad in the run game. Um,
Yeah.
the and usually you'll find covers 2, 4, and 3. Cover 2 is pretty self-explanatory. Only 2 are covering deep. Cover 4, you'll have the same 2 safeties in cover 2, but you'll have 2 extra cornerbacks back there. Cover 3, you'll have the strong safety play up, and then you'll have the free safety down in the back with 2 corners.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is where those linebackers will start to do different things. The Sam will line up in the middle for cover 2 and 4, while the Will and the Mike will drop to hook curls on 2, but flats in 4, which is kind of like the zones that they're lining up in. Flats is just make sure they didn't get nobody's crossing on a flat route there, and a hook curl for hooks and curls. And then the cover 3 just kind of makes the strong safety play as the linebacker, and then it's almost like cover 4, except the will take a flat and the Mike will hook curl. That's basically most of what I learned from or from 4-3. I enjoy looking at some 4-3. I think the Falcons run a 4-3, which kind of makes sense, seeing as it's a defense that they're trying to get after the quarterback with, because they know that they've been struggling with that. But maybe our biggest issue is our predictability, which that's always been an issue, especially recently. So maybe our defense is just that predictable as well. So maybe that's part of our struggles.
Yeah. Well, mine is pretty simple. Mine is just the 3-4 defense, which that's pretty much just the base defense that a lot of schemes are run on. Probably every game, just like a 4-3 is probably seen every game. 3-4 is you got 3 linebackers and 4 defensive backs. You got the nose tackle and defensive ends, and then this is usually to try to prevent small passing plays and to bring pressure in on the quarterback. This is also pretty easy to use for pass rushing. With a lot of these modern defenses, Brian Flores comes to mind. A lot of base defenses being masked to be something else, where they'll look like a 3-4, maybe trying to stop the run, and then once the play is snapped, they'll actually drop back a lineman or bring in a couple linebackers to have kind of a disguised blitz, or maybe make it more of a manned play. I think this is really interesting, not the defensive scheme itself, but kind of how these defenses are kind of evolving to try to match the modern offense of motion, and trying to kind of sniff out how each play is going to go before the snap even happens. But yeah, I don't have as much on it. Michael definitely did his homework. 3-4 is very common, as is 4-3. We're starting kind of with the basics. And Michael, what do you have for your offensive stuff?
My offensive stuff, definitely not as much as the defensive stuff. This stuff seems more basic. I chose the pistol formation, and this is a hybrid of a lot of pro style formations, as well as the shotgun formation. Much, I guess, similarly, the quarterback will line up under center, or behind center, not under it. The difference is that instead of under, he'll be lining about 3 to 5 yards back. The running back is directly behind him. This is kind of like a versatile type of formation, where you have better vision than like your typical shotgun. You don't have to backpedal, and you get an extra like 3 steps of time in the pocket before any edge rusher can get to you. You can just snap the ball, plant your feet, boom. You don't have to take 3 steps back and then plant your feet and go. It's a good formation for run pass option plays. Most mobile quarterbacks will also run this. Lamar Jackson, Jay Daniels, that type of stuff. It's very common in college, I believe, as well. The running back can also choose different schemes. You can go you can go inside, you can go outside, you can go counter, you can go whatever. So that it forces the defense to respect both the air and the ground. It keeps them honest and guessing, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, for mine, I just did the shotgun, which is very similar to the pistol formation. The quarterback is usually further behind the line of scrimmage, so 5 to 7 yards. And then the running back or the halfback is usually directly to their left or their right, instead of right, behind them. Very similar. This gives the quarterback, depending on what kind of play they're trying to run, if they're doing play action, where the quarterback can kind of read the offense and either send the running back in motion or pass it off and fake it, or whatever. It's just a very versatile play to run. It also gives the quarterback more space to give him a little bit more time to throw. And with mobile quarterbacks, it gives them openings if they decide that they just want to run the ball themselves. It's usually good in a lot of third and long situations when facing a very strong pass rush, and just in pass heavy offenses or offenses that kind of want to keep the defense on their toes and maybe switch it up and run a shotgun with a run.
That's is beautiful. I mean, it's interesting to see. I'm starting to play the new Madden as well. You know, you can see these things implemented. You know, because in Madden I run a 4-3, so I like to go after the quarterback. So just seeing the specifics, I can actually use this kind of stuff, which is kind of cool. Shotgun has always been something familiar as well, so it's just kind of fun to see it get kind of, get it picking up.